Hi, welcome back to Renee with Music.
Welcome back.
Hope everyone's doing well.
Yeah.
Renee, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm so excited.
Man, our last week,
I know.
we were both like, it wasn't even an NFT episode.
It wasn't. It was. I can't even remember how.
I don't remember what the episode was now.
I don't even remember
And
how it got
somehow
included, but
It
somehow.
landed on NFTs, and you and I went down some rabbit hole of we don't know.
We did, and I boldly made the statement that we should talk about it this week.
Which was pretty bold because,
It was really
as we
bold.
mentioned in the last one, we actually even listened to a Udemy class on this.
I remember listening to that, and I was like, I don't know what's happening.
We were
So
driving,
confused.
and I'm like listening, and I'm like, it was a processing. But I guess that was a year ago, so there must be
That was.
clearer information that you found.
And we had so many questions.
and then this happened, and so we
Right.
were just like, okay, one at a time.
Yeah. So NFTs, non-fungible tokens,
Yes.
are generally created using the same type of programming used for cryptocurrency. The difference is that NFTs cannot be exchanged or traded equivalently like cryptocurrency can, like Bitcoin.
Not like a dollar to dollar.
So yeah, like one Bitcoin can always be traded for another Bitcoin.
Yeah.
NFTs are different because they're completely unique. So much like if you went to an art studio and you wanted to buy the original, you could buy the original for a crazy amount, depending on what the value is, or you can buy a copy, which would be much
Which is
less.
what they sell at Hobby Lobby.
Yeah. So
Van Gogh's
they're
copies.
not equivalent.
Got it. Yes. Okay.
So does that make sense?
So it's like it really is artist driven, creative driven.
Yeah. So
What does fungible mean? Did you look that word
I
up?
didn't look that word up.
Fungible. Doesn't that sound like a fun word? Fungible.
But like, so basically, a Bitcoin is fungible, and NFT is non-fungible. So I think-
Okay.
Does that make sense? So I think just
Okay.
basically.
Maybe fungible's got to do with exchanging.
Right.
Okay.
So, but
Everyone watching that knows better than us. Just feel free to comment.
right. So an NFT creator makes money every time they sell their NFTs. Honestly, and you don't have to actually be an artist. Like that's a misconception. There are software tools that will basically help you create and mint whatever NFT you want to make. But obviously, for sake of music, we are going to talk about it from an artist approach.
That's the part where it got really confusing because I could
Yeah.
understand. Like, do you remember the turtle guy? And
Yeah.
he was creating NFTs about the turtles in Florida in an effort to raise money to help save them
Yeah.
so that they could make it from land to shore. And so he would make these little turtle NFTs and they would sell
Mhm.
them. And so I was like, okay, I can understand how art and an NFT works because
Right.
it still is a thing.
Yeah.
Like it still is a tangible, he had a photo or where music, I'm like, I make a song
Mm-hmm.
unless I were to create an album cover, but instead it would be a song cover and then that becomes a token, I really could not process how music and NFTs.
Right. So,
Right.
so basically, an NFT allows the buyer to own an original copy of a digital file, which is what's completely unique to that file.
Hold on. An original copy of a digital file. So is the original then considered the wave versus an MP3? Because if it's a digital file, copies and copies and copies are made. What's the original?
So however it's done, this is where my brain doesn't work properly. However it's done, there is something that is so unique about that file that you would know if it was a copy. Like they know that it's a counterfeit. Like however it's set up, you cannot have another copy of that file. Like the NFT is completely unique, one of a kind asset.
So then in that case, does the artist who created that song, I'm guessing,
Right.
who would have in essence owned that song, has now passed song ownership, kind of like we talked about when, he sold all of his music, his whole catalog.
Genesis.
Genesis sold his
Yeah.
whole catalog. Is it that idea?
So no, this is where it gets fun.
Oh, okay.
This is gonna answer.
You see my brain trying so hard to wrap myself around
right.
it.
So this will answer your question. Once I saw this, I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense because again, the question you were having was, is it one and done? Like all of a sudden you sell this one of a kind piece, whether it being a song or a clip or whatever, and then like that's it, and you're done with it.
Well, technically you would think you would be done with it.
Nope.
Okay.
Not the case. So this is what's cool about the NFT. You always make money on the NFT because as the creator, anytime, so you sell the NFT,
Okay.
so someone else owns that NFT now. If that person sells the NFT again, you get a cut of that sale.
Who organizes this cut?
Right, I have no idea. So the creator always gets 10% of every time it gets sold.
Now, okay, let's go back to our turtle people.
Okay.
So he made the little turtle thing,
Right.
and he sold each little NFTs. So every time when he sold it, he made 10% of that sale. Or he made full sale.
He made full sale because he
Okay,
sold it.
he
Like
sold
it was that was the first time that it was then sold.
Every sold. Okay.
Yep.
So then when the next person buys it, they make full sale of that. No.
No, because again, the original at that point, the creator is going to get 10%. So that person that sells it is not, because that person is not the original creator. That person just owns the NFT. They're selling it to someone else.
For 90.
Right. Well, for less because the platform takes the cut.
It's cut.
Yeah. So
So
basically, it's kind of like how a brokerage is going to take a cut of the commission. So it's kind of that.
So then
same
it's always
thing.
90, 90,
Yeah.
90, 90, 90.
Right, from
But
any
the
other
creator gets to keep 10 all the time.
Yeah. So every time it gets resold, the creator gets 10% of whatever. But this is what's cool about it though, because in the music world, as you become more famous, the value of that NFT is then going to increase. So
Right.
where you may have sold it for $500, but then down the line you get wicked famous, as you will, and then all of a sudden the NFT could be sold for $1 million. You get 10% of
But,
it.
but whoever sells it when I'm famous makes the 900,000.
Right? I know, it's true.
So like, you're still getting a cut, but you're still taking. So okay.
So it's kind of like getting like a residual.
Mhm.
So it's basically so it's kind of like a rev share for your music.
Okay,
So-
okay, but forever.
Yeah, forever.
That's the difference. So
Yeah.
that like, if you were to make the song, it's like royalties.
Yeah, so it's like you'll always be getting royalties off that. And if
In NFT world.
Yeah.
So, but I'm curious. So, because royalties, then what happens to that song in the real world? You might have to go research this one. Do you
Well,
follow?
I
like
follow.
that turtle NFT doesn't exist in the real world.
Right, that turtle doesn't. The music does.
The music will.
So the cool part about the music side is that they can share that music as much as they want. All it's doing is making it more popular.
Right. But now I'm coming back to like all the conversations that we've had in the real world about
Right.
music and sync and like all these different things. Like what happens if, like, do I now, if I've sold it, I no longer own it, so I can't perform it. Like that's
That's the piece that I'm not sure
We're
about.
not sure about?
Yeah, that's the piece that I couldn't quite find an answer to. But I think the whole idea of it is, well, one idea of it is that you get to decide what you want an NFT to be in terms of it. You don't have to go the route of Kings of Leon, who like made a whole album.
yeah.
It could be that I mean, like literally, like the NBA even got in on this, and they're making like video reels of like LeBron James like dunking, like having like these cool side shots and all these things, and they're literally selling those as NFTs.
Oh, get out.
So it can
These
also
little videos.
yeah, so it can be very creative in terms of what you're doing.
Oh.
So it's not like you're necessarily like, oh, I just made this great song and I'm gonna sell it as an NFT and then I lose it. Like it could be that you do stuff in the back.
Perform it.
You perform like behind the scenes and sell that.
Like
as
Fred
an
and I
NFT.
drumming together, and
Right.
that's like the NFT.
Yeah.
Like the
So,
first
like-
time the first time I ever decided to drum,
Right.
which was last night.
So it just gives you more creative options of what you can do with
Yeah.
it. So literally, like one of the reels that LeBron James sold for $208,000 in NFT. So he's actually done this quite a bit.
So he's fully in.
He's fully into
He is
the
immersed.
NFTs. Yeah.
Immersed.
So, but I mean, again, that's not taking away from anything he's doing.
No. This is just like another stream.
It's like another stream of income that they're able to do.
Yeah.
I think so. Again, the same thing for anybody in music. So, and it's also the cool thing that they were saying is it's also just a way for your fans to help support your career
in another space.
So,
like if you have fans, because then I'm also like, who's in this world?
Right.
Who are these people?
Yeah.
Because you and I are like, look, if the NFT is like an ocean, Chad and I right now are like, dip, dip.
Right.
We're like, what is this? Yeah, we're like.
So the NFT is almost like a stock. It's like buying a stock.
It's like another, well, then that's the whole Web3 discussion.
Yeah.
Like it's this whole other thing.
Because obviously, if it loses its value, then it crashed, kind of like a stock would. So it's kind of like you're playing the market.
And so it would crash in the sense that nobody would be buying it.
Right. Yeah.
So it
it's
just
like
kind of sits there.
Kind of just sits. It may not be gaining any value, but the person that bought it would be the one that's going to lose out. So if they bought it for a whole bunch and then it doesn't sell.
So everybody that's in there is kind of playing another version of the stock market.
Exactly.
Hedging bets,
Yeah. So basically, they're like investing in artists and their success. Be like, hey, let me buy this NFT because I know it's going to help you get to the next stage.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a way for them, instead of doing like crowd sourcing or donations, it's a way for them to give back to you guys, but in a way that could potentially benefit them as well in the long run.
Oh.
So instead of like donating, then they're buying NFTs so that it will help fund what you're doing. But then as your success happens, it's gonna give back to them as well.
If you haven't noticed, like I'm fully unaware of this podcast. I'm like, what? Like you're watching me process this for the very first time. Well, this information anyway. We did not talk about this before.
We did not.
No, we didn't.
So the cool part is we have talked about the Kings of Leon quite a bit with the fact that they did it. So what they did, which was really kind of cool, is they set it up to where they offered incentives, which I think is also how they can afford to have it cost so much. So with theirs, the band offered incentives like front row seating for their live shows for life.
For life?
For life.
They never tour again.
Right? They had to tour in order for this to work. And then like a special album package, exclusive audio visual art. So I mean, they kind of like included a lot in that collection, which was kind of cool.
No, and that was with their actual album. They didn't piece out the songs. Mm-hmm. It was an album. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and it generated more than 2 million in sales.
Well, how? How many of them did they sell?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like they could be selling more than one.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that people are buying copies.
Right. So,
but they're all getting front row seat. They're all getting yeah. That's gonna be a big front row.
Yeah, right. I mean copies, but I think still what they would be doing is each one would there would be something different about it to make it unique.
Oh, maybe like the one is the front row seat, and the one is the art, and the one is the Okay.
So it's like if they sold 500 NFTs of that one album.
Yeah.
Each one has to have something different about it so they could differentiate which it was. Which would still make it.
So we feel like this is more interesting than it was a year ago.
Yeah,
a year ago we were like
it's making a lot more sense.
drowning.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, this is actually kind of cool. But yeah, so I mean, it allows artists to share the royalty rights with their fans, choosing a percentage of their choice and encouraging them to share and remix the music as they have it, so that way it's gaining in popularity. So,
oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. So,
Yeah.
so that's how that works, which is what we didn't understand.
No,
right?
so like we could take, so for example, Invincible, which is what I was playing drums on last night. The Disney catalog picked it up.
Right.
The Disney Nickelodeon catalog picked it up, and they pitch constantly to that space. So when I still want Disney, I still think it's Disney. Say what you want about Disney, I still think that should be Disney. So when Disney picks this up, and it gets on to whatever it is, movie, show, whatever, and I end up with a lot of streams from it, then I could create that little NFT from SNG of us drumming.
Yes, oh absolutely.
And then that would be like, instead of selling the song, I'm selling a moment of the song in a moment in time.
Yeah.
That person would then own a piece of that song's history. Am I
Yeah.
thinking of this
No,
right?
you are. Yeah. No,
Okay.
absolutely.
And then
Yeah.
then like you kind of just build what that is from there, whether it's
Right.
video pieces or.
Yeah. So I mean, you can literally have whatever you want be on that digital file, and then that is just going to, as your success grows, the value of that will increase. So it's kind of like the Mona Lisa wasn't worth a whole lot at the beginning, but now it's like.
And she's so small. Have you seen her?
I know, she's super small.
I only went to see it in person
So-
and at the Louvre, and I was so shocked at how tiny she was.
Right. I know. And
I
so.
don't know why we think she's so big.
But now it's like worth like crazy amounts.
Oh, I mean, like, it's in a museum, probably privately owned, but publicly displayed.
Yeah.
But
So-
yeah, wow.
But yeah, so I mean, NFTs, anything can be on the digital file, so you kind of just can customize it as much, and they can be made for like $100 to $500. So like they're not like crazy expensive to make. But then they
Wait,
can
when
be
you say
sold.
to make, like in the platform,
Correct.
it will and we're talking $1 or 1 ether, because those are two different.
No, $1 to
$1
$500.
US dollar.
Yeah. So like you can make an NFT for $500 and then turn around and sell it for thousands.
So why would the NFT? What's the variation then if I made my NFT for $1? Oh, you mean like in terms of sale? Start the sale price at $1.
No, like in literally just because of however involved it is to make that NFT.
Yeah.
So if you did it for wicked cheap, and you could literally make it for, I mean, they're just giving a price range.
Okay,
Like,
but it
so-
costs money because I know I was speaking to that one
Yeah,
artist.
it costs
who-
money to make it.
Well, no, it cost to mint.
Well, that's right.
So I was talking to her and she had all this art, and she's a producer, and I was like, it looks like NFT art, like that classic
Oh right, I remember saying
series
that.
art.
Yeah.
I'm like, why don't you have this up on? Why don't you have it in? Well, there's a word. It's called something.
Like OpenSea or
OpenSea,
whatever.
yeah,
OpenSea.
OpenSea. Why don't you have this on OpenSea? Mint these things and sell them. People will eat that up. And she said because it costs a lot of money
Yeah.
to mint each one. Like 1,000, like
So like it could have been like on like the higher end.
for
so,
to mint.
Mhm.
Because I heard 1 ether is like $1,200.
That's so insane. Yeah.
I could be wrong. I feel like that's like I was like, whoa, because there's like a conversion. It's like another world.
I mean, it's so
It's like you
crazy.
currency. You have to go change your currency. When
Well, the article that I read was January 2023, so maybe it's changed.
oh, it'd be so great because
So
it's
maybe
so
like
expensive.
yeah, and
Maybe they're
it's-
trying to allow more people to participate.
right, because they're saying that it is becoming like quite a big thing.
Decentral. Yeah. Like it's not just for the. It's been around for a while.
Been around since 2015.
Yeah,
We're
really
really
slow on the
behind.
uptake.
Yeah, really behind. on
8
this.
years ago.
Right.
A whole pandemic ago. What?
I don't know.
Oh, it's just
It was
so
a
much-
lot. I mean, again, we could go so far, so much more in depth, but like I wanted to kind of hit just on the music
No,
side,
and
like
I'm actually kind of excited because my brain now is like thinking of ways that
Right.
it could be fun and interesting to do
yeah,
that.
it made a lot more sense after I read it.
I'm glad you
Yeah.
took the time to do that
I know.
because
It's like let's find out how this actually works.
I know because I walked in this morning and goes, I understand NFTs. I was like, what? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my god, tell me.
Yeah, it makes so much more sense. I was like, okay, cool. We could actually do a lot with this.
Okay,
So,
yeah. No,
yeah.
I already think the little drum one might end up.
Yeah, that'd be good.
The little drummer girl. Okay.
So you want a fun fact?
Oh yeah. Fun fact.
Fun fact. All right.
Okay.
Oh, I'm already exhausted.
From the
is-
fun fact.
Yeah. Oh.
You didn't even say it yet.
It's so exhausting. So Elvis Presley, we talked about him
So
a lot.
much. Well, no, because he really had quite the life, and also because that movie had come out last year.
That's true.
Which
That's
is
true.
supposed to be like the most accurate portrayal of his life. And so,
It
okay,
was,
so
yeah.
go
So-
back to him.
So Elvis Presley played 636 consecutive shows in Las Vegas over an 8-year period from 1969 to 1976. Played 2 shows per evening every day of the week, and every show was sold out. Oh my god, I need a nap. Is that not? I was.
2 shows an evening.
Yeah. Is that not exhausting?
Well, and I'll tell you why. Because I just finished telling someone this morning about the symphony and how we had a 4-hour rehearsal and then came back and did the show, and that I was wiped, and that was once.
Right.
Like I cannot imagine. Like it's probably what, an hour and a half show?
Mm-hmm. You would imagine so. Yeah.
It may be something though, like working out, where like it becomes like he strengthened that muscle so well that it wasn't that challenging, or it could lend to why he was collapsing in the movie that they just released.
For real,
because that's like too much of a toll on the. Because then what do? You literally eating, sleeping, performing, eating, sleeping, like
every day.
Why not a day off?
That seems so mental to me.
Well, Vegas does not stop.
No, Vegas does not. No, that's true. Vegas does not stop. If you're doing a show in Vegas, like you have to be expected. You're just on all the time.
Even though when I was there and I saw like the Magic Men, I mean they didn't perform every night.
No.
It'd be too much for those dudes to run around dancing.
Right? I mean, it's just exhausting. I just don't even understand.
Oh my gosh, I have such a new appreciation for Elvis.
Right? So much.
And he did it like full throttle.
Yeah. I've never seen Elvis.
Like he was gyrating and everything. Like, it's not like he just sat there like saying his own.
No, he loved that.
Good on him.
Good job, Elvis.
Good on him.
Love that.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cheers.
Thanks,
to you
guys.
all.
See you next week.